Hey Mustangs, in this video we're going to take a look at the Biome Project. Now this is going to be the first major project of the year, and it's going to take all the major ideas and concepts from our ecology unit and put it all together in one place to show what you know. Okay, now we're going to start by choosing a biome, and then I'll walk you through some of the major points of the project. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing, you're going to need your biology book in order to choose one of the biomes and get a little bit of information about the biomes. So you'll grab your book and you'll turn to page 417, and you'll read that page to get a little bit of background information on biomes. After you're done with that, you'll turn to page 418 through 422, and you'll look at the 9 different biomes that you can choose from. Okay, so you'll choose from one of those 9 biomes, and that will be your focus for the project. Okay, so the choices are here on the screen. So all the way from tundra to temperate deciduous forest, you get to choose which one you'd like to be your focus. Now I do grade 3 of these a little harder than the others, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it or you can't do those. You just need to make sure you do your very best if you choose one of these 3. So the tropical forest, the savanna, and the desert, those are the most picked biomes, and I know a lot of information about those from all the projects turned in over the years. So on those, grade just a little bit harder, not much, and I expect a little bit more from those 3. Plus you can find tons of information about those on the internet, so there shouldn't be any reason why your project shouldn't be awesome if you choose one of those 3. Okay? Alright. Once you decide on one of those 9, you're going to turn your science notebook to the page titled Choosing a Biome. So take a look at your table of contents, or if you titled your pages already, go ahead and find that page, Choosing a Biome. And when you get to that page, you're going to write down these 3 things. So you're going to write down the name of the biome that you chose. You'll write a brief description, so you could use the description in the book. I don't want you copying from the book. I want you to read it and kind of summarize a basic description of the biome that you've chosen. And then I'd like you to write down 7 animals that you'd find in your biome and 5 plants that could be found in your biome. Okay? Now for some of these biomes, the book gives you enough information to complete this just from the book. Others, you have to do a little bit more research. So if you choose one where you can't find 7 animals and 5 plants in the book, go ahead and use the internet. You're going to have to do a little bit of background information anyway, so or a little bit of background research anyway as you complete the project. So finding sites where you can find information will be good to locate right now to help you throughout the project. Okay? So you'll write down 7 animals and 5 plants. Alright, once you've finished that in your science notebook, then grab your rubric. Okay, so you receive this rubric in class, and it can also be found on the class website. And I'm going to go over the major points and things that you're going to need to consider to complete this project. Alright, so first, effort counts. Effort always counts on everything that you do in this class. So if it appears that you did not put a lot of effort into your project, you can lose points. If you do something amazing, you put in tons of effort, you can actually get some extra credit points. So effort does matter on all of your projects. Second, pictures that need to be a part of this project can either be hand-drawn or they can be pictures from the internet. The pictures that you get of plants and animals must be relevant to your biome. So for example, if you're doing a desert, you shouldn't have penguins and polar bear pictures. Okay? It has to be pictures that pertain to the biome that you have chosen. Also, you cannot have pre-created stuff from the internet. So you can use pictures from the internet, but let's say you're doing your food chain. You can't just find a food chain and then you put that into your project. You have to create the food chain. You have to find plants and animals that would be a part of a food chain for your biome, and then build the food chain by taking those pictures, cutting, pasting them, adding arrows, all that stuff. Okay. Alright. The information that is written information should be typed. Okay. Now this is more relevant to old school posters. So if you decide to do an old school poster, all the written parts should be typed, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. All right. To complete your project, there's several different ways you can do this. You can do the old school poster. Now the old school poster is the whole cut and paste thing. So here's a couple of old school poster examples. Okay. This is a half page old school poster. And this one Hope it's not too in the face of the camera. Okay. Another, that's a full old school poster. And then here's another half old school poster here. Okay. So you could do an old school poster. You could do a PowerPoint, a Prezi, or a Glogster. Prezi is like PowerPoint, but you could do a lot more with it. And a Glogster is basically an online poster. So it's like a old school poster, but it's online, and you don't have to cut and paste and glue and do all that stuff. Finally, as you complete this project, always refer back to the rubric. The rubric has everything that I'm looking for and tells you what I'm looking for specifically on each section. So if you're following the rubric, you're almost guaranteed an A as long as you have the right information as well. Alright, now the parts that you have already been assigned. So I'm going to go through A, C, D, and E, so that way you know and understand what I'm looking for on these parts. Okay, so part A is really simple. You're just going to write down or type up the biome name. You're going to identify one continent where your biome is found, and within that continent you're going to identify a specific region. Okay, so for example, let's say that you chose tropical forest. Okay, so tropical forests are found all over the world, but you want to pick one specific continent. So you choose South America, let's say, and within South America, pick a specific region, the Amazon. Okay, and you could do that for every single one of the biomes. Pick a continent and then pick a specific place within that continent. So let's say, again, for example, you choose savanna as your biome. Okay, well, savanna, one place where you find a savanna is on the African continent, and a specific region would be the Serengeti. Okay, so again, breaking it down: biome, a continent where it's found, and then a location on that continent. All right. For part C, you're going to identify autotrophs and heterotrophs that are found in your biome. Again, these should be plants and animals found in your biome, not some other biome. Okay? And of course there's going to be overlappings, but you want to focus on your biome. So, for example, here are autotrophs that you might find in a rainforest, and you'd get the pictures and then name those autotrophs. For heterotrophs, you choose one of each of the 5 heterotrophs. So you should have a carnivore, a herbivore, omnivore, detritivore, decomposer. Okay? And you're going to name them, say what they are, and also identify what type of heterotroph they are, just like you see here on this slide. Alright, part D, another easy one. You're going to create a food chain with 4 trophic levels. Again, don't get one from the internet that's already made. I'd like you to find pictures of plants and animals from your biome and then put them together, put the arrows, and do it that way. Alright, part E. Based on the food chain that you created back in part D, you're going to create an energy pyramid. Okay, so an energy pyramid, there's different features in Word, in PowerPoint, and even in Prezi and Glogster where you can actually create a pyramid, and then you fill in the numbers. Okay, now you should remember that 10% gets from one trophic level to the next, so based on that idea, you can create any numbers you'd like as long as you're showing that only 10% is getting from one trophic level to the next. And then finally, the last part of part E, is to create a numbers pyramid. Okay, so the numbers pyramid, if you don't remember how to create a numbers pyramid, find your energy and calculating energy handout in your science notebook and see if you could identify what a numbers pyramid should show. Alright, now completing each section. You're not going to turn this stuff in as you go along. Okay, this project is going to be cumulative and we're going to do a little bit at a time. So, if you're doing an old school poster, okay, this is what I'd like you to do. Create a Word doc and put all your stuff into the Word doc. Create everything as you go along. Okay, don't print anything out because I don't want you to turn it in. I just want you to do the work as we go along. So don't print anything out because you need to decide and you need to see how much information and all the pictures you're going to gather before you print things out. Otherwise you're going to be reprinting, wasting a lot of ink, wasting a lot of paper. So you create that Word doc, one Word doc, title it Biome Project, and then just complete everything as we go along as we do section by section. If you're doing a PowerPoint, Prezi, or Glog, this is even easier because you're actually completing the project as you go along, versus here you'd have to cut out and paste and do all that stuff at the end. Okay? So with the PowerPoint, Prezis, and Glogsters, a slide. So one slide for each section. You complete that as you go along, and you're basically finishing the project as we move through each section. All right. Now, how do I make sure that you're getting each section done as we go along, as I assign them? This is where your partner becomes a resource. So your partner is going to check off that you're getting the work done. And there's two ways you could do this: through email and through pictures on your phone. Okay. So next class, you're going to get the email address of your partner, and you can either email work as you complete it. So if you're doing an old school poster, you'd email your Word doc. If you're doing PowerPoints, Prezis, Glogsters, you'd email links or the PowerPoint to your partner, and then they could check you off when we're in class. Or as you do stuff, you could take pictures of your computer that shows the work is done. And then you just come in, show your partner your phone, and they could check you off that way. So on your rubric, don't lose your rubric, there's a place right here where there's initials. Okay? So this is where your partner will be signing off that yes, you are completing the sections as we go along, and making sure you get full points. Now if you're not getting initials, if you're not getting stuff done on the due dates, then you'll actually be losing points. Now next class isn't going to count, so I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway on this one. So when we go in next class, we'll get email addresses and stuff like that, and then the following class is when we'll check off A, C, D, and E. But make sure you get them done. It'll help you study for your test if you get C, D, and E done tonight. Alright, so that's it for the Biome Project. If you have any questions, email me, and good luck.